Hello, welcome to iPowerlingua. This is the 14th in a series of advanced intermediate English reading and listening exercises. And in this one we're going to be looking at Bollywood. Bollywood is basically Indian Hollywood. We're going to be reading an article about it, and then we're going to be answering a few questions. The article is entitled, Hooray for Bollywood. A storm forces a plane to make an emergency landing on a deserted island. The only shelter is a spooky house where a murderer begins killing passengers. So what do these defenseless people do? They have a beach party and perform an elaborate song and dance number. This is the world of Bollywood. The scene described above is from a classic Indian movie, Gumnam, which was made in the 1960s. It is typical of the kind of movies that are still made in India today. For as long as Hollywood has existed, there has also been an Indian film industry. Because it is based in Bombay, or Mumbai, it is popularly called Bollywood, from the words Bombay and Hollywood. While it is as old as Hollywood, it is much bigger. Bollywood currently has the largest movie industry in the world. It produces more than 1,000 films a year, and as many as 14 million people a day pack into movie theaters to see Bollywood films. While there are many types of films made in India, the most popular are the movies made in Bollywood. The films which are made in the Hindi language generally deal with Indian history and social problems. The average Bollywood film runs about 3 hours, but audience don't seem to mind the length. The stories are melodramatic. Heroes drive around in flashy cars. Actresses twirl around in beautiful costumes, and the poor boy always triumphs against the rich villain. They also feature many musical numbers, usually love songs. Although the films may seem exaggerated to some, that's not how most filmgoers feel. These movies and their stars are beloved by audiences throughout Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Every South Asian grows up with some kind of connection to Bollywood, notes Indian writer Suketu Mehta. In certain ways, it's what unites us. So that concludes the article about Bollywood. By the way, if you want to learn Hindi, come to iPowerlingua.com, and we have a good teacher there for that. Anyway, so let's look at the questions and what they are. Or let's examine the questions and then conclude. The first question is, what is Bollywood? The second question is, what do you think this article was written for? What was the audience that it was targeted to? Do you think the audience were people who work in Hollywood? Do you think that it was written for people in the general public? Or do you think it was made for fans of Bollywood movies? The next question is, how long is a typical Bollywood movie? The next question is, what language do they speak in Bollywood movies? The final question is, how many Bollywood films are made every year? So that concludes this exercise. Again, if you want to learn Hindi, the language of Bollywood movies, come to iPowerlingua.com, where you can learn that along with other languages, as well as English languages or English language training and accent reduction. And thank you very much for visiting iPowerlingua.com. Have a good day.